Tesla marking 10 million EVs produced shows the manufacturing base now in place as pressure builds for the next wave of models. This is Tesla Shorts Time, episode 573. Cumulative production crossed the 10 million mark this week. The milestone reflects the combined output of Shanghai, Fremont, Berlin, and Texas lines. It arrives as analysts and investors press for clarity on the next generation platform and refreshed models. The number underscores how far the existing factories have scaled even while new programs remain in development. Reaching this total demonstrates the cumulative effect of years of capacity additions across multiple continents. From the factories already running at volume, we turn to Tesla's plans to bring more of the energy supply chain in-house. The filing outlines plans for a massive new solar manufacturing site in Fort Bend County. Tesla is seeking tax incentives to support the project. The plant would produce cells for both vehicle and energy products. Local officials are reviewing the economic impact numbers. The scale of the proposed investment signals a long-term commitment to controlling more of the solar supply chain internally. County records show Tesla is requesting incentives for the proposed Texas solar cell facility. The project would expand in-house production of panels and cells. Local economic development staff are evaluating job creation estimates. The filing adds detail to Tesla's broader energy hardware ambitions. While the factory filing looks at long-term cost control, another energy offering is already live for Texas customers. Customers in Texas can now lease a Powerwall with no upfront cost when paired with a retail electricity plan. Tesla highlighted the program's potential to scale virtual power plants beyond the state. The offering ties residential storage directly to utility rate structures. Early uptake will test whether the zero-down model broadens adoption. The structure links home energy storage with everyday electricity billing in a way that could accelerate deployment. Waymo secured approval to grow its robotaxi operations across additional California territory. The move increases the number of counties where the Alphabet service can operate without a safety driver. Tesla's own unsupervised FSD timeline remains gated by separate regulatory reviews. The contrast highlights how different AV players are advancing at different regulatory speeds. Expansion gives Waymo a broader operational footprint, while Tesla continues to navigate its own approval process for similar capabilities. On the regulatory front, different AV players are moving at different speeds. GM's 2027 model year vehicles will gain native access to the entire Tesla Supercharger network. The change follows earlier NACS adapter agreements and removes the need for separate hardware on new GM cars. It expands the addressable market for Tesla's charging business. Utilization data from these vehicles will begin appearing in 2027. The integration broadens the user base for existing Supercharger locations without requiring Tesla to build additional stalls. While the charging network broadens, Tesla is also formalizing a path for used vehicles. The program offers in-warranty used vehicles with the lowest Model Y and Model S priced at $25,000 and Model 3 at $20,000. Tesla will handle certification and limited warranty coverage. The move gives buyers an official channel for lower-priced inventory. It also creates a clearer resale pathway for current owners. The structured pricing provides a transparent benchmark for used Tesla values in the American market. On the product side, a longer wheelbase Model Y is now entering U.S. deliveries. Owners checking their accounts are now seeing scheduled delivery windows for the longer wheelbase Model Y L. The vehicles have started arriving at stores for preparation. Nashville received one of the first units for showroom display. Production appears to be ramping for U.S. allocation. The rollout gives early visibility into how Tesla intends to bring the extended model to market. In China, the current Model Y is still setting sales records. The Model Y led midsize SUV sales in China during July. The result comes despite increased competition from domestic EV makers. It shows continued demand for the current platform even as Juniper updates remain in testing. Volume in China remains a key variable for overall production planning. The sales leadership underscores the model's established position in one of Tesla's largest markets. A smaller but practical infrastructure note comes from Europe. The new site adds 8 stalls to the Irish charging network. It improves coverage on routes serving Western Ireland. The station follows Tesla's pattern of incremental site additions rather than large flagship builds. Local drivers now have another reliable fast charging option. The addition fits into Tesla's ongoing global rollout of smaller, strategically placed locations. On the ownership side, a hardware incompatibility has surfaced for some recent buyers. Owners who took delivery of a 2026 Model Y long-range AWD before the premium trim designation report that the new outlet adapter will not function with their vehicle. The incompatibility stems from hardware differences introduced when Tesla split trims. This leaves early buyers without access to the vehicle-to-load feature, now rolling out on newer units. Tesla has not yet clarified whether a retrofit path exists. One owner who received their vehicle on August 31, 2025, confirmed the adapter simply does not work on that build. The change in trim architecture appears to have altered the necessary electrical interface. A separate recall also touches on owner frustration. The recall addresses a recurring driver complaint tied to a software or hardware fault. Affected vehicles will receive an over-the-air or service center fix. The scale remains modest relative to Tesla's total fleet, but still requires coordination across service centers. No injuries have been reported in connection with the issue. The campaign targets a problem owners have repeatedly flagged as particularly annoying during daily use. At this volume, the fix will draw on service center capacity already stretched by other campaigns. Tesla has not disclosed the exact root cause or whether the same issue affects additional vehicles outside the recall population. Owners of the affected builds will need to schedule time at a center or wait for the software push. The decision to file for incentives on a $10 billion Texas solar cell plant forces a direct look at where Tesla's energy hardware costs actually sit. Cell production remains the single largest expense in both solar panels and megapack style systems, and bringing that step in-house changes the margin math more than adding another assembly line. If the plant reaches the scale described in the filing, Tesla could capture the full stack from silicon to finished storage, something few competitors currently attempt at this volume. The move also aligns with existing efforts to pair solar generation directly with residential and utility storage offerings already in the market. Yet the same vertical integration logic that works for batteries carries different risks when applied to solar. Silicon prices have swung sharply in recent years, and a dedicated cell factory locks in capital at a moment when module prices continue to fall globally. The Fort Bend documents show Tesla is asking local governments to share some of that risk through tax relief, which suggests the company sees the project as strategically necessary rather than immediately profitable on its own. Supply agreements such as the 130 gigawatt-hours annual delivery from the new Spanish plants provide a near-term bridge while the domestic facility is built. For customers, the outcome matters less in the form of new panel designs and more in the delivered cost of a Powerwall plus solar package. If internal cell production trims even a modest percentage off the bill of materials, the zero-down lease program now running in Texas becomes easier to scale nationally. The open question is whether the factory timeline stays ahead of the demand curve already visible in virtual power plant pilots, or whether supply constraints simply shift from modules to cells. Watching how quickly the Fort Bend site moves from filing to groundbreaking will reveal whether the economics close fast enough to support broader energy hardware growth. Reports indicate Tesla is targeting an August demonstration of a redesigned Roadster with flight capability. The vehicle would showcase new hardware beyond the standard electric Roadster platform. Investors have already reacted to the timeline in trading. No official Tesla confirmation has been issued yet. The planned reveal would mark a significant departure from the previously announced next-generation Roadster specifications. Owners report that new premium Model 3 vehicles include bidirectional charging hardware from the factory. The feature enables vehicle-to-home or vehicle-to-load use without aftermarket adapters. It aligns the Model 3 with the capability now rolling out on premium Model Y. No software activation timeline has been confirmed. The inclusion suggests Tesla is standardizing bidirectional functionality across multiple premium trims. A Cybertruck will appear at the Lisburn event in Northern Ireland. The display marks one of the first public showings of the vehicle in the region. Organizers expect strong visitor interest given the truck's distinctive design. Local Tesla owners have already begun discussing test drive prospects. The appearance gives European audiences a closer look at a model that has so far seen limited physical exposure outside North America. The 3 plants will deliver 130 gigawatt-hours of electricity each year to Tesla operations. The agreement supports Tesla's European energy procurement strategy. It adds dedicated renewable supply without relying on grid offsets. Construction wrapped on schedule, and the sites are now feeding power into the local network. The dedicated output helps stabilize energy costs for Tesla facilities on the continent. Before we go, the next update on the Fort Bend solar plant filing should clarify whether local incentives move the project from documents to construction. And that's everything worth knowing about Tesla today. TSLA closed at $342.27, up $2.31, 0.7%. If the show saves you time, a quick rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify goes a long way. You can also find us on X at Tesla Shorts Time. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. I'll see you tomorrow. This show comes to you from the NARA Network. If you want another sharp daily briefing, Unintended Consequences has you covered. True stories of good intentions that backfired. All our shows are free at naranetwork.com. And on the website, every episode's visuals live in our free image gallery at naranetwork.com gallery. Royalty free under Creative Commons. Download with attribution. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.